Hi, good day everyone. Hope all of you are good today for the class. For today's class, I'm going to pick up from what we have left last week on chapter 1. So, I'm going to start today with the managing HR in the organization, and from the figure, as you can see, there will be always external influences as well as internal influences that will affect the human resource activities. Guys, in the middle of the figure, the 8 processes or 8 activities, we call them as the human resource activities. In some books they call it human resource functions. So among the human resource activities are recruiting and selecting, and then training and development, and then compensation and appraisal, and last one is protection and communication. So there are 8 HR activities you can see from the figure, and all of these activities, they are part of human resource functions. So all of these activities, from time to time, they will be affected by the external influences or internal influences. External influences refers to factors outside of the organization or outside of the company that might affect the decision in the human resource activities. For example, the external factors or external influences are your competitor, your customer, maybe the technology, the political move by the government, and also social. So all of those we consider as external factors. It is not internal or company's factors, it is outside factors. I give you an example. Sometime in doing the recruitment or recruiting activities, what is recruiting? Recruiting is actually attracting people to apply for jobs. So in this activity of recruitment, you might post an advertisement to attract people to apply for job. You must put certain range of salaries to be offered for the job position, for the job vacancy. So when you post the salary offer on your advertisement, usually you will be based on the market value or based on the market trends. You cannot offer the salary that is too low from your competitors. If you are offering too low from your competitors, people will not be interested to apply for the job. So that is what I meant by human resource activities sometimes will be influenced or sometimes will be affected by factors from external. I just give you example. External factors is competitor. I give you another example. um, when you are doing selection, for example, when you are doing selection, it means that selection is the process of hiring people. You know, when you are selecting people, you will do interview and so on. And nowadays, technology has been very advanced. Remember, technology is external influences. Sometimes nowadays technologies are very advanced. You have the choice either to call the candidates for interview, or you can use Skype or Zoom meeting for the interview. So sometimes, if you are okay with the virtual interview, means interview over the internet, then it is okay. You can save a lot of time, and even the candidates also will have more the candidates also will feel easier, instead of they have to travel very far for the job, and later they don't get the job. So why don't you just hold a Zoom meeting for interview, call all the candidates to attend the Zoom meeting for interview, and from there you can ask questions and so on during the interview. So sometimes technology, the external influences would affect your decision making in your human resource activities. Guys, that is just example of external influences. I give you two just now. Number one, competitor price range or competitor salary offer range, maybe the influence that you should consider when you offer salary during the recruitment process, and also selection. Selection is actually you select people during interview. Because of the technology nowadays, you have the option, either you can do the traditional interview, people just come to the office, or you can capitalize, or you can utilize the advanced technology in which you will use Skype meeting or what for interview. It will save a lot of cost and time for both interviewer and also candidates. Guys, I just would like to continue with the internal influences. Sometimes internal influences or factors from inside of the company will affect your human resource activities. Human resource activities, again, is the middle boxes in the figure, yeah, the 8 processes. Okay, example of internal factors that will affect your human resource activities is, for example, the financial situation. Financial situation means financial stability of the company. If the company do not really have very strong financial, maybe they will not be able to conduct a lot of training and development programs, because training and development programs, they require a considerably significant amount of cost. Because when you are doing trainings, you need to pay for trainers, you need to get the proper venue for training, and then you have to prepare meals for training, and then you have to prepare the materials such as the handouts, and also other training materials such as presentation paper and so on. So training and development program are really costly. So if your financial is not really stable, you might cut down your training and development program. So instead of you have a lot of training, means then you have to cut down number of trainings that you will offer to your staff. The same goes to, for example, compensation and also appraisal. Guys, what is compensation? I said compensation is actually the return that you pay for the services that your staff are doing. So in another word, it is the salary, wages, and so on, including benefits. Guys, you can offer benefits if your financial is stable. You can offer a lot of benefits. You can offer a lot of benefits if your company's financial is stable. But if the company's financial is not really strong, then you have to cut down on benefits to be given to the employees and so on. So internal factors other than financial can also be the objective of the company or the goals of the company. For example, if the goal of the company is to get, for example, the goal of company, maybe they want to reduce customers complaint, then to reduce the customers complaint, then you have to provide trainings, and then you have to improve the skills via training and development program. So as a result, you will increase the number of training. That is the example of objectives. When the objectives is to reduce customer complaint, that is internal factors. Company's objective is internal factors. So if your objective is to reduce customers complaint, then you have to provide and train people, you have to provide trainings and development programs so that people can improve the performance. Guys, that are just 2 examples that I can cite over here in this video. External influences and internal influences that will affect the human resource processes or human resource activities. Next is employee union. This is another word that we can learn from human resource management. Employee union simply means an organization of employees, means employees are united by one organization who act together. This is actually an association, a union of employees who will act together to protect and promote their interests. So employee union is actually a body that is participated by all the employees, and if there is anything that they want to highlight to the management, or if there is any problem that they want to bring up to the management, they will use this channel, the employee union channel, and they will do what they call as collective bargaining. Collective means they do it in group, that's why they call it collective. Bargaining means they are requesting things, or they are applying for certain or they are voicing problems to the government, to the company. So they call it bargaining, with representatives of the hospitality organization. So they will do the collective bargaining to some to the representative. Representative means the company's spokesperson. Usually we will the employee union will voice out their problem to the human resource department. All right. The next key term in human resource management is work procedure. So work procedure, I think you know, that is a course of actions or the steps used to describe how a work or task to be done. That is, work procedure means the step by step of how people are doing jobs. Guys, work procedure is very important to be followed so that you can get consistent quality in job. And the next one is empowerment. Empowerment simply means you are authorizing people, or you are giving power to your employees. Empowerment means you are granting power to your employees, or you are sharing some portion of authority to your employees, because you will not be around 24 hours. You will not be around for you as the manager. You will be very busy and you will not be around all the time, and you might need to actually delegate or empower your staff to make certain decision making. So the act of authorizing employees to make discretionary decisions within the areas of responsibility. So you will actually give certain power, some portion of power for the employees, or from, if you are the manager, you give certain power to your supervisor to decide on anything when you are not around. For example, in front office, you can give the authority or power to the front office assistant to actually give discounts to the parties who are relevant. For example, they don't really need to refer to you if they if there is any for example, government servant coming to hotel who want to check in. So government servant who come to the hotel usually will be given discount as government rate. So we will give government FOA can give the government rate to the government servant without asking first the permission from the manager. That is one example of empowerment, giving authority to your employees to make decision in your absence, during your absence. And then executive committee. Basically, who is the executive committee? They are a group of a group comprised of department heads. So executive committee is all the department heads, like we have discussed previously, the head of departments in hotel. For example, there are many departments in hotel. For example, the front office, housekeeping, food and beverage, security, maintenance, sales and marketing, finance and accounting, human resource management department. So all the head of departments, these people we call as the executive committee, serves as the organization key management team and who are responsible for the overall management of the organization. So In short, what is executive committee? Executive committee is the group of department head. All right. Now we are going into what we call as the human resource challenges. Number one, challenge of the human resource department is to do the right recruitment and also selecting the right employees into the organization. So if we make mistake in hiring people, we actually are wasting money, because these people, if they cannot do the job and then they will create problems to the company, it will be actually a liability to your organization. So it is important to do the right recruitment. Right recruitment means you should choose the right or proper channel to get the applicant or candidates. For example, I think we have discussed this one previously, especially when we talk about when you want to select or when you want to hire a new manager. If you want to hire a new manager, means you want to hire a key person in your organization, you cannot simply advertise your vacancy on the internet. If you put on the internet, there will be thousands of people apply for the job, and it will be a very headache screening process afterwards to screen the qualified employees or screen the qualified candidates. So it is good that if you want to hire a key person for your organization, you use the employee referrals. What is employee referrals? You will ask your managers, the other managers in hotel, if they can refer anyone that they know who is good, who can be a good team manager in your organization. So that is one, employee referral. Or maybe if you want to get the right people, you also will need to post your advertisement on certain groups on the internet. For example, groups of there is one association of chef association, Malaysian Association of Chef. So if you really want to get people who are really good, then you have to go for this kind of association or this kind of groups, so that you will get the right key person for your organization. However, if you only looking for entry level talents, then you can get from the university and colleges, or you can directly go to the work expo or job expo. Then all of these people will be around. So recruitment process must be correct, and then use the selection technique that is correct. That's why they call it, you can see on the first bullet, recruitment and selecting qualified employees. When you are selecting, means you are hiring the right people, the qualified people. In order to select or hire the correct people, you have to do the correct process of selection. You have to really you have to get the right people to interview the candidate. You have to maybe conduct employment tests or hiring tests, so that you can know the skill properly, you can evaluate the skill. Next, human resource challenge number 2 is employee turnover. Employee turnover simply means the replacement of employee. Employee turnover means some portion of employees leaving the company, then you have to replace with the new one. They call it employee turnover. As the HR manager, your responsibility is to keep the employee turnover percentage to be as low as possible. We don't want employee turnover rate to be high. What does it mean when the employee turnover rate is high? It means that too many people resign and you have to get the new talents. Guys, this will only increase cost of employment, because when you have people resign, you have to actually advertise again, and then you have to do selection again. It will waste your time, and then you have to train them again. We said just now, training will require a lot of cost. So employee turnover, if it is high, it is really not a good sign of human resource management. So as you can see from the formula at the bottom of the slide, the formula for turnover rate, rate means employee turnover rate is number of employees leaving during year and also number of employees in the workforce, simply calculated by, for example, during the year you have 30 people resign from the job. You divide by how many employees in your workforce. For example, in total in your company you need 100 people to work. The position that you have is 100 positions of job. So 30 people divided by total number of employees or total number of jobs is 100. So your turnover rate is 0.3 or 30%. What does it mean by 30%? 30% is very high turnover rate. It means that every 3 employees you have, 1 person will resign. So it is actually very bad sign of incompetence of handling employee turnover. Next, human resource challenge is retaining and rewarding the best employee. Guys, we have said when you have too many people resign and you have high employee turnover, you will increase the cost of recruitment, selection, and cost of labor in overall. So it is very important for the human resource department to be able to retain the best employee and reward this group of people, because they are assets of the company. Guys, those who are problematic, we hope that they will leave the company, but those who are good, in the slide bullet number 1 they call it best employees, we need to retain. And in order to retain them, we have to provide some motivation by give them rewards. Rewards is in terms of bonus, maybe in terms of vacation, that maybe you send them for vacation because of their good performance and so on. So rewards can motivate people to retain and also stay in the company. So proper programs should be designed to actually retain these people. Guys, it is not just that you give bonus and vacation, but in order to reward good employees also, you should appreciate their talent. These people should be promoted for higher level of employment, so that they will feel like retaining in the company. If they have been work for so long and they don't get any promotion or increase in salary, definitely people who will leave the job, will leave the workplace. So it is very important, if you find any good talent in your company, you should retain them by rewarding them. I just repeat, how do you reward? Give bonuses, maybe vacation, promote for higher level position, and also increase salary. That is the rewards for the best employees. Next is leadership development. I just said just now, sometimes there are good people in your company, but you do not really appreciate that. It is very important for the human resource department to find talents in the company itself, inside the company, and actually brush up these talents to be the next or future leaders. So what you can do is, you must identify who are this person and actually give them the motivation, give them trainings and also development programs. If they do not really have the qualification, send them to do the diploma, executive diploma or degree, so that they can develop themselves and you can retain these people in your company to be the next leaders. Next is managing labor and benefit costs. Yeah, labor costs is actually the salary and wages. Benefit cost also is the labor cost. Benefits, if you forget, I just would like to remind you or just refresh you back about the benefits. Benefits means things like allowance, things like medical insurance, things like uniform even. So all the benefits when you work in the company is actually labor cost. However, this labor and benefit cost, for your information, is second largest cost in the operation, so in the overall operation. Usually in restaurants or in hotel, number one cost will be the operational cost. Number two or largest cost is the labor cost. So it is a challenge for the human resource managers to actually control, so that the labor cost will not go up too high and it will be maintained at the appropriate level. However, you cannot offer too low. We have said just now, you cannot offer too low salary or wages compared to your competitor, but the level of salary and wages must be appropriate to the market value. And last one is measuring the effectiveness of the human resource function. So we have said just now, human resource functions, there are 8 of them: recruitment, selection, and also training, development, compensation, appraisal, and then protection and communication. The 8 we have just discussed just now. So to ensure the effectiveness, you have to have some measurement. For example, how effective you are, or how effective is the HR function in terms of training. Sometimes you give a lot of training, you incur a lot of cost. So how actually you measure that you have improved their skills and performance? So it must be certain measurement. For example, before training and after training, if there is any improvement. So measuring the effectiveness for HR functions, guys, HR functions not only training, HR functions including the recruitment, selection, and so on, compensation, appraisal, the 8 I said just now. Every single function must be evaluated for effectiveness. Just now I give you one example. Training, you should have the measurement before training and after training, whether people have improved the skill or not. And then maybe employee turnover. What is the indicate what high employee turnover indicates? It indicates that your compensation and benefits is not really good. That's why people are leaving, maybe. So there should be some measurement survey that you should do to measure the effectiveness of your human resource function. Guys, now we are moving towards the last topic, I think, the ethical concerns and HR. So HR also is responsible for ethical conducts or ethical issues in the workplace. So what is ethics? Ethics is actually a set of rules or principles that define what is right and what is wrong as decisions are made. So when managers are making decisions, it should be based on ethics or ethical concerns. It cannot be that a decision made by the company or decision made by one manager seem unethical. So for example, you must, as a manager, you must think of, is it ethical for you to actually, for the managers, for example, is it ethical for the managers to hire his family members into the organization? This is what we call as nepotism. What is right, what is wrong is based on ethics. If you have the good work ethics, then you will not do something like nepotism. What is nepotism or favoritism? You are actually favoring your family members or relatives or friends over the other candidates. That is nepotism. Uh, this is one example of ethics. Guys, business ethics. So business ethics is the use of ethical judgment as managers make organizational decision. Guys, there are many ethical issues that we can discuss. For example, ethics we said just now is about what is the right thing, what is wrong, and so on. So sometimes there are issues of colleagues take credits of somebody else's work. So this one is unethical. So if you find this kind of issues in your workplace, it is part of the managers and also human resource department to actually address. And sometimes it happens that the managers will scream at employees in front of the customers. So this is also considered not ethical. Or maybe employees telling lies about he or she is not feeling well to come to work. So all of this is considered unethical behavior. And also some people also will do something like unethical, like using the phones for using the office telephone for personal purposes. So all of this is ethical issues in the organization. So what you need to do is you have to come out, the human resource have to come out with what we call as code of ethics. Code of ethics means or ethical code, in some books they call it ethical codes. It is actually a statement that outlines broad concept to guide ethical decision making. So it is actually a statement, a kind of rules or policy that everyone must adhere to, everyone must actually oblige to or follow to. So example is for the example of code of ethics or rules that must be in place, I just give a few examples. To this is to avoid unethical behavior. Just for example is any MC, you know, MC, medical certificate, or any emergency leave. Sometimes people will simply take emergency leave saying that it is family matters, but it is considered unethical. The ethical way of taking MC or EL is you have to give proof. For example, if you are sick, then you have to get a proof from the nearby clinics or hospital to prove that you are not well to come to work. Or if you have any emergency problem, you should get a proof. For example, the car broke down, then you have to find proof like bill or invoice of car repair from the workshop. That is the supporting document or proof document to actually support your leave application. And then another rules that you can apply in your workplace is supervisors should not be allowed to actually scold the employees in front of the customers. Maybe another code of ethics is all purchasing must be supported with bills or proof of buying. And then any form of verbal or physical harassment, sexual harassment, should not be tolerated. These people who actually committed sexual harassment should be brought to disciplinary committee, or if it is serious enough, this person should be suspended from work and be reported to the police for his conduct. And maybe some people, they will take longer break time, so it should be in the code of ethics that you should have the specified break time for employees. It is stated in the policy of the company. And also maybe to avoid any corruption cases or bribery. So there should be one code of ethics that no one in the company should receive any gifts or presents from the contractors if they are when they are bidding for contracts, for example. So all of this example that I gave to you is a part of ethical code that is very common to be addressed or to be implemented in any organization. Guys, I guess this is the last slide. Okay, human resource and ethical concerns. Hospitality organizations develop ethical codes for several reasons. Yeah, we said about a few ethical codes just now, the rules that we said about MC, and then we said about bill of purchasing, and then we talk about break time. All of this is to serve a few reasons. Number one, to identify a foundation of acceptable behavior, so that when you guide people know that this is how how things should be done in acceptable way. And then to promote standards to guide decision making. So any decision making made by the superiors or made by the managers in the hotel is based on the code of ethics. They cannot simply, like what I said, just take in any relative or family members or friends into the organization. This is nepotism issues. So when you have this kind of code of ethics, it can guide the decision making. And next is to provide a benchmark for evaluating potential decision. Yeah, benchmark is most like standard, so that when anyone in the company have to make decision, this ethical concern or ethical codes will be the benchmark or standard for evaluating whether the decision made is ethical or unethical, legal or illegal. So it is based on this code of ethics. And the last one is to support the responsibility and obligations that the decision makers have to their constituent. So this is actually to support. When you have certain set of rules and code of ethics, this gives some support for the managers and superiors to make their decision. Guys, constituent means decision or vote. When they are doing this, when they are doing decision making and also voting of something, we can know whether they are right or wrong based on the rules or code of ethics we said just now. So code of ethics will be the guideline, will be the standard, will be the benchmark, will be the supporting document that you use when you are making decisions in your organization. Guys, that's all for today. Thank you for joining this online class via recorded video. And that's all for today. All right, I see you in the next class. Bye.